Nigel, here we are again. I'm at the beach in Santa Cruz, at the boardwalk. Welcome to the Santa Cruz boardwalk, everybody. There's even a sign behind me to prove it.
All right. Well, let me go.
Okay,
Ready to go. I'm Nigel White, gratitude champion. Happy to be here. And welcome to Voice CEO Conversations. Joining me is the one-wheeling Mr. Hello Future, CEO of attn.live, Utile. How are you, sir?
I'm wonderful. It's so good to be here with you. And it's nice to introduce you also to the attn community. For those watching live, thank you for your attention. For those that watch the archive, this is April 24th, 2021, and apparently Santa Cruz is open again, huh? Look at that. I got a mask on.
Amen.
I'm taking off so all of you can hear me. My boys are over here on this ride right here. Let's see if I can see them. Right there. There they are. Riding together. And I asked them if I could do this with you, and they're very gracious to support Daddy with. This is about being human. That's what this conversation is about. So why don't you lead the conversation, Nigel? You and I are human. We act human. We're focused on being human and being genuine and natural. Let's talk a bit about this.
Yes, indeed. So I'm going to just set the stage just a little bit. So Voice CEO Conversations is where we sit back and we have a little get to know you discussion. We talk a little bit about tech, a little bit about startups, a bit about leaders, and them walking the talk and paying the cost to be the boss of their own voice. Okay, so we're going to be meeting for 8 days. We met yesterday on Origin Story, and today we're talking being human. Okay, so I think that kind of sets the table. So being human, here's the way I'm going to present it to you. We talked about being human, beliefs, and guiding principles. So now I'm going to ask you to give me, I'm going to take from Steve Michalski. I'm just going to liberate some of his works, and I'm going to ask you, give me one word for you, and then we'll dig into it. And I'll do one at a time. What does being human mean to you in one word?
For me, being human in one word would be enlightened. I feel like either enlightened or I may say creative. But I would say enlightened. I just feel like the one thing that separates human beings from animals is we have some complicated, mysterious, supernatural enlightenment about us. We have a propensity to believe something about the future, to have vision, to plan, to have strategy, to do innovation, to do creativity. So I wrap that up with enlightenment. It's the thing that separates us from all the other animals. You may have a body that's like a beast, but we seem to have a mind that's like a god. So for me, my word is light. How about for you?
Okay, so for me, it's really doing unto others. It really comes down to that simple piece of it. I think that while humans are different from like animals that more act on instinct, and we do to an extent as well. But I think the liberation of doing unto others is huge in terms of being human. And I don't think we put enough emphasis on it. We say the words and it's nice and it sounds flowery, and I love a good word, as you know. But I think that the emphasis in thinking about what that really means. Am I conducting myself in a manner that I would appreciate if I were sitting in the opposite space? And that goes deep if you think about it, because it's even when, let's say you've injured somebody, how would you want that person to react to it? Not that there's a good way if you've injured somebody, but how would you want that? And I think about this constantly. So that's where it is with me. And it's not one word, but it's mindfulness. Mindfulness would do it. So
I like that. So let me turn it around and ask you a question. If your children had to describe what they believe was your core belief and guiding principle in one sentence, what do you think they might say? For my kids, I'll answer first. My kids would probably say, Daddy's core belief and guiding principle is to be affectionate physically, be encouraging verbally, and to be full of joy personally. I think that's what my kids would say. I don't know if they'd articulate it that way, but that is my core belief and guiding principle. Physical affection, verbal encouragement, personal joy. How about you? What do you think your kids might say about
you? Honestly, I know my son would say, you worry too much about what people think. I think that would be his literal response. My daughter, she's just more of a caring, she's just more of a caring soul, but she would say that it's just me just kind of embracing her. I think about my little girl, and it is better men. They really do. But what would they say? What would they say is my, guiding principle? Just being good to people, regardless. Like I think to a fault, and I'm not saying I always get it right, but that's what I strive for. It's definitely not always easy. I think it's taken me a lot of life to realize and the value of that, but it's really just being considerate of other people, and it's always been that way. Starting with my mom, but like it's just always been that way. I even in receipt of things, I really give deep thought to, am I really doing what I'm supposed to do here? Am I committing? Am I adding value? Am I contributing? So yeah, that would be it.
So we're doing this every day. We have 6 more days lined up. We're committed to 10 minutes a day. We're at like 8 minutes and 30 seconds at this point. So why don't you tell all the party people that are watching live, again, thanks for your attention if you are, or watch the archive, what are the next 6 days? Tell us the next 6 topics, and then why don't you give us final thoughts? And before you do that, I'll show you the Santa Cruz Boardwalk one more time. We're at the very, very end. The Santa Cruz Wharf is right there. The Seabright and Harbor is there. There's the logo. My boys are on this ride. I'm going on mute. Nigel, tell them about the next 6 days and give us your final closing thoughts, and then I'll end the live stream.
Okay, so far what we've done, we've talked about origin story. Today we talked about being human. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about accountability in voice tech, NLP, and AI. Then we're going to talk about comparing voice equity and voice ownership. Next, we're going to talk about my favorite one. I think goes to non-fun. Acknowledging NFT's dark side. Not just the good stuff, the rest of it. And then we're going to move on to the difference between NFT value and attention. Then we go on to the significance of both passion and profit, which rears its head in business and relationships as well. And finally, we're going to close on the 30th with a voice CEO conversation on where we should go from here and what are the next steps and how do we continue to build and grow, and then be able to look back and say, we did okay. We did our families, we did our industry, we did our craft and community proud. So that's where we are. So I'm Nigel Wright. I'm the voice CEO and the gratitude champion. And I thank you for spending some time with us. I look forward to having more of these conversations. We've got 6 more, and we're very much looking forward to them. We're going to get a little bit deeper into the tech, but we're also going to continue on talking about relationships and how important that is in building. And again, just reminding you that voice CEO conversations, you got to be the boss of your own voice. You got to walk and talk, and pay the cost to be the boss of your own voice every day. So in closing, I'll let Ian. I want you to say a few words because we got a little time. I think a couple minutes. Say a few words. Anyway.
Closing thoughts. When people give you an opportunity, walk through that opportunity, that open door, with confidence and humility. And Nigel Wright, you are an example of that. We had closed our beta testing round. We had been helpful, and I just had this feeling about you. And so I gave you an opportunity. I said, hey, there's an open door. What would you think about jumping into being a beta tester of our attn.live software? And you came in with humility and with confidence, and it's been fruitful because of it, and it's led to us doing this. And so that's my final word on being human. A guiding principle and a core belief for all of us should be the combination of humility and confidence. May that be the case for me. May it be the case for you watching. And Nigel, thank you for being an example of that to me. And to everybody, I salute you. We'll be back again tomorrow.
Thanks so much, everyone. We appreciate it.